Hello everyone, so in this video let's talk about the Meteor75 Pro and how the shutter speed will affect the quality of your video, especially the Jello that we are experiencing using the Meteor75, or even by using some of the 75mm or 65mm tubes that is out in the market. So how the shutter speed will help you to lower down these Jellos on your videos. Previously, I discussed this with the DJI Neo since they use a very similar camera and lens combo. And on that videos, I suggest that you use a shutter speed with the amount of double your frame rate. So if you are using a 60 fps, you must reach a shutter speed of around 1/120. Or if you're using a 100 fps, your shutter speed are at 1/200, and so on. You will have a video with natural motion blur. Now, the problem with shutter speed is that you introduce too much light, because technically 1/120 is a very slow shutter speed. It's fraction, and having, for example, let's try to visualize 1/8000 versus 1/120. With 1/8000, you have a faster shutter speed. So the shutter speed of your camera will close very quickly since it's 1/8000. Meanwhile, if you're using 1/120, you have a slower shutter speed. And with that slower shutter speed, you introduce more light going to the sensor. So most of the time, if you're using double frame rate, it's quite bright. It's overexposed. So they add an ND filter in the front, so that they could control the ISO, so they could control the aperture if you really have to, or so that when you are at double the frame rate, it will not be too exposed. So let's do this 1/8000. As you will see, our ISO is around 900, 1000. In auto, our shutter speed 1/8000. We just want to see how the quality affects. Okay. Okay, 1/8000. See, very Jello video. Our video is really vibrating badly. Okay, 1/8000. Okay, let's land. Let's go with 6400. There will be still Jello, but our ISO is going down to 980. Okay, still there is Jello, as you can see in this video. The motor is vibrating and it's transferring to the camera. Okay, 1/5000. Still vibrating. Our ISO goes down to 930. Okay. Oh, yeah. 1/4000. It's still vibrating. Jello. Okay. Let's go down. We are now at 1/3200. Okay, there's still Jello. Okay. 1/2500. Our ISO now is at around 380. Since we are lowering our ISO, the video quality is improving as well. because in every camera, as the best ISO is 100 or lower than that. Okay, still Jello. 1/2000. Okay, still Jello. ISO is now at 280, 270. Okay, still Jello. 1/1600. Our ISO is around 220, but the Jello is still here. See? But it's not the Jello is not as bad when we try to fly in 1/8000. Okay, let's go. 1/1250. See, the Jello is not as dramatic when we try to fly in 1/8000. Although it's still vibrating, but not as bad as when you try to fly in 1/8000. Next, 1/1000. Okay. Our ISO now is at around 130, 120, or 120. See, it's vibrating still, but not as bad. Okay. 1/800. Still, there's vibration, but not as bad. Okay. Let's go down. Now at 1/640, you will see that it is a bit bright because we are already very low in our ISO, 100. See? But the vibration is very, very minimal. See? Okay, so let's go down. 1/500. Okay. See? Wow. That is natural. That's a good video. There's no vibration, as you can see. We're almost reaching double the shutter speed. Okay, but our ISO is already locked in at 100, so there's no way for the camera to compensate for overexposure. As you will see now, it's very, very bright. 1/400, but there is no vibration. See? 1/400. I'm trying to fly quickly. See, there's no Jello. Okay, let's go down. 1/320. Okay, we're almost there. See how bright it is right now. 1/320. If you're in the shade or at a cloudy place, you can still have a good exposure at this amount, and there is no Jello. See? But we are not yet at the double the shutter speed, so 4 times the frame rate. 1/240. Okay, it's very bright, but there is no Jello. See? Okay, it died. Okay, the battery died. 1/200. It's very bright. See, it's a bit overexposed, but you will notice that the vibration is really not there. See? Go down. I have one more to go. Now we are at 1/160. Right? It's really overexposed now. But there is no jello. See? Double the shutter speed. But it's overexposed. See? But there is really no jello at all. Okay? See? And it flies really smooth. Okay? Oopsie. I want to show you if we go 1/60. Okay? We will skip 100 and over 80. It's really overexposed, but you will see that there is no jello at all, because there we are the amount of the frame rate. See? So if you have an ND filter here, your video will be very, very smooth, and the motion blur will be very, very good. But of course, that is one problem that you might want to look into. It's overexposed. Okay, so let's do one flight with, just to give us an idea, 1/120 and 1/60 of shutter speed. We're in, of course, it's not too bright here. We're inside, and we try to go outside in the shade. Let's just see if there would be a huge difference. Okay, just a very short video, 1/120. Okay, as you can see, there is no jello, but the quality is good. Okay, it's a bit windy. One over 120. Okay, let's go back, and we will fly in 1/60. Okay, let's land. 1/60. This is way beyond the... Okay, 1/60. Recording. Okay. As you can see, there is really no jello, and there is a lot of motion blur in the video, because we are flying beyond the suggested double the frame rate. Alright. As I have said earlier, by controlling the shutter speed of your Meteor75 Pro will improve its output in terms of video quality. So you'll really lessen those jello. And I think the sweet spot on the shutter speed is around double the shutter speed, up to probably around 1/640, or that you make the shutter speed faster, 1/800, 1/1000, and so on, 1/8000. You really introduce jello on your video. Now, the downside of going slower but double the shutter speed is you introduce too much light, and it makes your video overexposed. So what I would suggest that you do is control the shutter speed, but put it within the range of 1/640 and 1/120, or probably go over 1/60 if you really want to. Then the ISO should be in auto mode, so that the camera can adjust the ISO and compensate for your shutter speed. And if there will be in the future probably, BetaFPV will produce an ND filter for this. Hopefully they do. Try to get probably around an ND4 or an ND8. Even though we put the shutter speed at 1/60, with where we think it would be overexposed, but when we try to fly it on a shady area or on a cloudy day, the exposure is still tolerable. So try to fly a lot and see for yourself on which shutter speed is the right fit for your flying style and for your environment, because in our place here in the Philippines, it's always sunny during this time of the year. So the 1/120 is not that, it's too exposed on my videos, so I have to lower it to make it faster, probably 1/640 if I want to have a proper exposure. But in your end, if your place is always cloudy, and you always you're flying in a shady area or you're flying indoors, the 1/120 will not be overexposed for you. So always try to test for yourself, and hopefully this little suggestion could improve your video using the Meteor75 Pro with the O4 Lite. We will end the video here. Hope to see you in the next video. Happy filming and happy flying with your Meteor75 Pro with the O4 Lite.